Hello, everyone, and welcome down to episode 125 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cam, and welcome back.
G'day, Brendan. How you going? I'm just sanitizing my hands. I feel like this side of the screen's been a bit dirty for the last couple of weeks.
Right.
So I just want to make sure I don't catch anything from someone else. How's that
good
for
to
a
see
prop?
your face again. Good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for inviting me back. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we thought we'd give you another run. I mean, you've done a few of these, so we thought we'd give you another crack. Thank you to Matt for joining us last week on episode 124. Very well received episode. People liked it, a bit of a change up, which was good.
Yeah.
Cam was unavailable, so Matt jumped in at pretty much the 11th hour to help fill that void, and he did a cracking job.
He did a cracking job, and he looked very professional, and obviously knows his craft very well. And
it annoyed me. His background looked better than mine.
Well, yeah, he's got some incredible underwater shots and general shots in general, I guess. But it was refreshing to have someone on the show who wasn't completely full of shit like us. And
speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. And it'd be good to know. Matt will be pretty happy to hear that his episode is rating much higher than episode 61 or 62, which is with his other partner in crime. That's barely got a look. So there must be something said about that.
Yeah. In TP's defense, we did have half the subscribers back then as well. All right. I won't cut him any slack. Far be it from me to get in the way of your bizarre
and I tell you what, you don't ask TP. Ask him how he edited one of his aerials up at Lake Eyre last couple of days. Doesn't want to answer it.
Okay.
I think there's a little bit of funny business going on there, but
I'm not in the middle of anything. Thank you to everyone who has liked, subscribed, followed the channel, all that sort of stuff on the YouTubes. It's appreciated. We do have our winter photo comp running on Facebook, so we'll touch on that again. I think we've got 2 more episodes that we'll chuck up while that's still open. So we've got until the end of June to put those in. The theme was winter. The entries are pouring in. It seems like every other day I look at the phone, there's another 5 or 6 entries there. So that's going to make our job a little hard. We will pick pretty broad topics, but anyway, that's okay.
Yeah. We're sitting at about 40 odd entries, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
I saw one pop up today, actually.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that's a good one.
Okay. All right.
And then I saw another one the other day and I went, oh, that's a good one. There's some good classic.
We have some very talented listeners. We have some very talented listeners.
We do. And they are certainly showing us that with their winter shots. We
like to see it. Cam, let's talk backgrounds, and it's probably your week to go first. So go on.
All right. So the reason why I wasn't on the show last week, I wasn't uninvited. There wasn't any boycotts or any other issues. I've just turned my TV on with my remote control. Hang on.
Nice. With your high-tech camera cover up.
Somehow I pressed Prime Video. So I wasn't on the show last week because I was actually on Flinders Island, which is where this shot is taken from. Flinders Island is a beautiful little island just off the northeast coast of Tassie, in between like Wilson's Prom and Tassie. Not to mention Tassie too much, obviously. Don't get ourselves pigeonholed in there, but so beautiful spot. It's quite mountainous in the middle of the island, and you got these beautiful coastlines all around it. So this is part of the Darling Range, I believe it's called. What a great name for a mountain range, Darling Range. And it was an early morning. We had a cracker morning of a sunrise, and everything just lit up really nicely, and the light sort of caught that little peak just there in the background.
I wonder if it's the same Darling as the Darling River is named after.
Maybe.
One for our listeners, hit us up below.
That was an explorer, wasn't it?
Well, I would imagine. So most rivers get named after explorers, I think.
Did we ever talk about on this show, am I dreaming this, that we spoke about the only things that we remember from school, the Australian explorers like Hume and Hobble, Wentworth and Blackwell?
Blackwell, I think, yeah.
Blackwell. That's the only thing I remember from primary school. We must have done a big assignment on the early explorers.
Yeah, we did too. I mean, I think it was in the 80s when I was at high school, and there was I did Australian history right through to VCE.
Right.
And which I really enjoyed, actually. I bumped into my Australian history teacher not a month or two ago. Still with us, doing really well. Hello, Graham. He's not listening. Background mine.
Yeah, go background.
This is something a little different for
Ooh,
me. It's not something a little
a,
different. It's quite popular at the moment, this sort of photography, but
is that a macro?
yeah, wouldn't it be cool if that was a macro? This is a shot of the Barwon River right here in Ocean Grove.
Oh,
And
yes.
not a lot of people realize here in Ocean Grove we've got places like this. That is just to, if you're looking straight down on this, you are, and you look a little bit to the left, you look at the eighth tee of the Ocean Grove Golf Club. So
yes.
it's one of the, in the back pocket of the golf course there. So I was shooting some aerials for Ocean Grove Golf Club recently, and I thought, hang on, that looks pretty cool. So I just sort of slid the camera across, and yeah, a little composition jumped out
It
like
looks
that.
very mangrovey and looks almost
Yeah,
like
it
could
kind
be
of
out of
looks
Darwin or something.
subtropical or something, doesn't it? Yeah, or
Yeah.
Amazonian. But no, that's
Yeah. Right.
right here on, that's the Barwon River, not 4 kilometers from my house.
Right. You can almost fly your drone from there, from your
I
house.
probably could if I wanted to break every rule under the sun when it comes to drone photography, but who cares about that? How about what DJI have been threatened with in the United States? This is very interesting. This is
I haven't heard
completely off
this.
script.
Yeah, what's going on
They're
there?
talking about a blanket ban of DJI products
Right.
in the United States of America on
Because
grounds of spying.
I was going to say, because the Americans are so bloody. Actually, I won't hang shit on the Americans. We'll go on there a couple of months. We love you, America.
Well, it's interesting that there's
Yeah.
that DJI, well, that they're, look, I'll gloss over it, but a senator has footed a bill to say that they want DJI banned in the United States of America. So very
Right.
interesting. And lo and behold, not hours later, B&H had a huge sale on DJI gear.
Of course.
So,
Well, I think also, just having a quick look here, I think it's got to do also the fact that DJI is owned by the Chinese,
well, correct.
which is that,
That's
and it
that's where
has
it all comes
it
from.
actually has passed in the US House.
I don't, yeah, it's got a fair way to go, fair way to
Yeah.
travel, I think, for it to become law. But
Wow.
interesting times in which we're living.
Shit,
And tonight's couple of topics might
that'd
talk a little bit
be
about that as well.
that'd be the end of DJI if they got banned, wouldn't it? You'd
Out of the
think.
States, you would think so, yeah. And
That'd be
generally
huge.
speaking, as they say, when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. So they'll probably end up being banned
Yeah.
in Australia as well. I hope not.
No. Well,
It seems a little tenuous, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see what
it's
happens.
like when you have to, we can't have nice things anymore, so
We'll break it for everybody.
break it for everyone. Good on you.
That's right. Look, speaking of things along those lines, technology and the like,
Yeah.
it's been brought to our attention that there's a new tag on Instagram and Facebook that says that your photo was made with AI. If it was made with AI,
Yeah.
this is interesting because we've spoken a lot on this show about processing of images, manipulation of images, using AI, generative fill, things like that, saying that we think you should tell people that you've done that if you're putting it forward as an authentic photograph.
That's right.
If you're putting it forward as obvious art and digital art and things like that, sure, that's completely different. But if you're putting it forward as a photograph, we've said for ages that, well, we need to know, is that a real photo or isn't it? Well, Instagram and Facebook have gone, aren't they the same thing anyway? the metaverse,
Yeah,
whatever they're called.
they've been listening to our show, obviously.
Clearly, with our thousands of listeners, that they are now going to put made with AI as above your photo. Now it opens up a lot of different areas here.
Yeah.
I would think on the face of it, you and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I think so.
Yep.
Yep.
There are other people out there, Peter McKinnon being one, who has said, well, it's saying made with AI, even if you used a clone tool to remove a rubbish bin or a power line.
Now, is it? I thought it was something that the person chose to say it was made with AI, or is it automatically picking up saying we've detected that this has had AI through the meta?
It's automatically picking it up.
Ah, that's a big game changer. I thought it was a bit of an honorary system, like yes,
no, you don't have to tick a box. Now, granted, it is in its infancy, and that may change very, very soon. But at the moment, it's from what I can tell, it's a blanket thing where if it's interesting, isn't it? Because the AI can now tell that it's been AI.
AI.
It's you.
It's
See, the
isn't
irony here is Meta are using AI to tell us that something was made
isn't
with
that what
AI.
happened in Terminator 2 when Skynet
I know.
became
I know. Is it Judgment
became
Day?
became aware of itself?
Yes, I think it's over for all of us. But
I think it is.
yeah,
But
it's bizarre.
that is curious that they're using AI to detect if it's been AI'd.
Yeah.
Look, I don't mind. Like, let's be honest, all photos now are some way affected by AI, or we use something, in our editing or in the camera, whatever it might be. I don't have a problem with it detecting that, but I think the parameters maybe need to be a bit looser than someone
Yeah.
just cloning out something or someone
Yeah.
just
I
fixing
mean,
something.
your backdrop, for example, let's say, there was a bird in the sky and
Yes,
it looked like and
and
because
there
you
was,
couldn't see
yeah,
it was further, it was a black dot. I mean,
yeah,
who
and I,
hasn't cloned something out like that? Or
yeah, that's right.
even worse, what if it was just a dust on your sensor? I've
Well,
cloned
that's
out dust off my sensor a million times.
yeah, that's right. So there needs to be some sort of leniency with how tight the AI identification is, I guess.
It's interesting,
Um,
isn't it? Because
yeah,
it also opens up the old can of worms of, well, who cares? Like,
yeah.
there's
Well,
certain people out there that
mm,
whatever, I don't care. It's a pretty picture. I don't, whatever.
yeah,
But it's us staunch photographers that kind of
yeah.
like it. But yeah, there's got to be
So
a middle ground somewhere.
So what's happened is we've bitched and moaned enough. Now they're going, okay, well then we'll give you. Then we're like, oh no, we don't want that. No, no, don't point us out. We don't want to be pointed out.
Well, it has flaws. That's the problem.
Yeah,
It needs to be. It could. I wonder if there's going to be a system where it basically you put the photo up, and while you're putting your little hashtags and your comments and whatever and your quote about the,
yeah,
putting an Ansel Adams quote underneath your photo, it might come up and say, we've detected that this photo is made with AI. Do you want
yeah,
to tell people? Tick the
yeah,
box, don't tick the box. Now, to
yeah.
me, that's probably where it'll end up. I would have thought,
What
but it's an interesting one.
what I'd like to see Instagram do is have an AI system that says your saturation slider has gone past 60. You cannot post this photo,
That's right. You
or your
can't.
sharp, or your sharp, or your sharp, or your
Yeah,
sharpening tool
that's
has
right.
gone on a some sort of
That's right.
crusade, and you can't do
Well, I
whatever
mean,
you want.
here's the other thing. This is going to go on a journey with me, people.
All
So
right.
I've gotten recently into there's a YouTuber out there who does very, very good YouTube clips teaching people photography. It's Simon D'Entremont, who French Canadian guy,
Right.
Simon, but he
Simon.
calls
Yeah.
himself Simon
Simon.
D'Entremont.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, we'll link him in description because he is actually very, very good. I've been watching a few of his clips lately. And he's been talking about uh, buying camera. Well, should you buy a camera that's got heaps of megapixels?
Yeah.
And one of his points, this is just a very recent video I watched. One of his points was, well, nowadays you've got programs that can, like gigapixel
Yeah.
AI, like
Yeah.
even Photoshop itself has now got its own software on board that can allow you to enlarge a
Yeah.
photo by filling in pixels using artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So on one hand, we're happy to use AI then when it
Yeah.
assists us on that front, but not so much when it's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
interesting. But
yeah.
yeah, Simon
Yeah.
D'Entremont, check him out. He's cool.
But that's the thing. Like, again, it comes down to that whole subjectiveness of photography. Like, the
Yes,
subjectiveness isn't just on, hey, I like that photo. It's a nice photo. I like the composition. It's like, okay, I like that photo. I like how you've composed that, or I like how you dropped in a sky. I like how you've AI'd a unicorn on the mountain, whatever it might be.
yeah,
It's just another level of subjectiveness that I don't know. I can't think of any other art that is so subjective than photography. Like
of course not.
music, you either like or you don't like the song. You like rap or you like heavy metal. You don't like country, you don't like jazz, whatever it is. But photography just seems to bring everyone.
Photography is polarizing, is what it
It's
is.
so polarizing. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous, isn't it?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
can't we just go back to film where you can't really manipulate too much and just may the, may,
Well,
may the best photo win type of thing?
and it's genie back in the bottle stuff.
Yeah,
It's almost like the
yeah, it
minute
is.
we've crossed the threshold into using, scanning negatives and using Photoshop back in the mid 90s, which is
Yeah,
what I did, to tidy up a negative, which is what Photoshop was mainly used for in back in the day, was literally cleaning dust off negatives.
that's right. That's all it was, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
Not anymore.
That's very, very loose as to what it was, but it was along those lines.
Yeah.
At that point, it was almost like that's the threshold. Now you've crossed it. Is it photography anymore, or should they have made up a new word, Cameron? Digiography.
Well, there is digital art.
Well, that's what it is. We're not capturing light on chemistry anymore. We're capturing light on sensors now. So
Capturing light on electronics, yeah.
That's right. So it's it's changed. The game's obviously changed forever, and that happened a long time ago. But
yeah,
it's interesting now that we've continued down this path of calling it photography.
Yeah.
And it's probably not anymore, is it?
Well, painting with light, isn't that what photography means, or drawing with light?
Yes.
Like we're still doing that.
Yeah.
We're just not doing it in the same way we used to, I guess.
Yeah.
Be like saying again, go back to Beethoven, who was just using pure piano and strings, to now we're synthesizing everything and synthesizing, synthesizing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's been a long day. So we're now doing that to still create the same art. So I don't know. That's a funny one, but I think having this AI thing on Instagram might just call out a few little fakes of people. Like I think some people try and get on there and put photos up and try and get away with saying, "Oh no, it's exactly how I saw it." And I think it'll carve out those people that are maybe being a bit dishonest with their photography.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely. And I find, just going back to what we're talking about with digiography, might be a new word. That might be the thumbnail. Digiography. No.
Yeah, go do
it. It still scratches an itch, though, doesn't it? It still scratches that photographic itch. It still feels creative, photography, in this day and age. In fact, it probably feels more creative now than ever because the tools are so readily available now.
Yeah.
To be creative. I mean, you can't take that photo behind me with tools 30 years ago. Like, it's impossible.
No, that's right.
So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I kind of like it. We've gone way off topic, but at the end of the day, I think it might be a bit of a passing fad or a passing trend that Meta will put made with AI. I don't think anyone gives a shit, to be perfectly frank.
Well, I think again, Instagram and Meta are all about trends, aren't they? And analytics and all that kind of shit. So they've obviously found that, okay, there's a lot of people mentioning AI and people are saying, oh, that's been made with AI in the comments and stuff like that. They're just following a trend. And like you said, it's probably going to fade off. They'll put it on there for a few years or a year, and then it'll be something else. There'll be something else released that they want people to, be honest about and stuff like that. So,
yeah. I mean, AI is obviously the hot topic of the moment and probably has been for a few years now. To the point, my friend, where did I mention this already? I probably did. Where a brand, nothing to do with electronics, photography, or anything, called one of their products AI smoke. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Callaway called their driver AI smoke.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure it's Callaway. It could be TaylorMade. It's one of the big brands. And I'm like, really? You're just hooked onto a popular term and you just, anyway.
Yeah.
AI. It's going to be interesting.
It's Callaway. It's Callaway.
It is Callaway. Okay.
But it's revolutioning AI technology. So somehow they've just said to the computer, make this driver hit further. And it said, ridiculous. This is how you do it.
They used ChatGPT to make a driver and called it AI smoke.
That's like they ChatGPT the title. What do we call this?
That's right. AI smoke. Shocking. Anyway, interesting times that we're living in. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think?
Is AI destroying photography?
Well, is it destroying photography? But should Meta be calling out people who are using AI in their images, even if they're
maybe they should
just cloning out a tiny part?
Maybe they should call out people using Canons.
Well,
hey, that'd be a good idea. Why does it not do that? Why does it not put the metadata of the shot up in the shot? Like, if you post up a shot on Instagram, you put the title and you put all your hashtags and shit like that.
It doesn't.
Why can't it down the bottom say this was shot on this model, this exposure, blah, 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 blah?
I don't know. Maybe we can make a checkbox that'll do that.
That'd be cool. So I'd get more out of that. I'd be like, oh, cool. There's Brendan's shot taken with the DJ.
I reckon Flickr used to do that. I reckon
Flickr used to do that. Yeah.
I reckon, and you didn't even have to type it in. It would just extract it out of the metadata.
Yeah. So
Flickr was great. Flickr was underrated.
it's still around, it's not dead.
Yes, I know, but they were underrated. Like I thought it was an awesome website. Anyway,
I think I've still got a membership there.
I have. I can't remember the login because who can? Like,
Yeah.
because the last time I logged in was in 2007. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I do have a page on Flickr.
Which
Anywho,
will which won't be linked below because we
it
can't remember it.
definitely will not be linked below.
Yeah.
Cameron, someone in your neck of the woods has released an app that
Well, in our neck of the woods,
basically
yeah. Yeah.
in our neck of the woods down south have
Yes.
released an app basically telling all photographers where they should go and take photos, giving up secret places to go and take
Hmm.
photos, charging money
Yeah.
on all your app platforms to do that.
Yeah.
Um, when this topic was raised by your good self with me,
5 minutes ago.
no,
No.
we did talk about
We,
this
we, we,
yesterday.
we did talk. We did. Yes. Yes.
Um,
What
tiny
did
little part of me was kind of like, good idea.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Well
Great idea.
done on
Yeah.
being so entrepreneurial,
Yes.
and finding a way to make money in photography that
Yeah.
no one's probably, I don't know if no one's ever thought of it. It probably has been thought of before, but to my knowledge, this is the first
Yeah.
app of its kind where basically anyone listening to the show right now can say, okay, I'm off to Darwin.
Yep. Where
Where
do I?
are all the secret spots where we can go and take photos?
Yep.
What do you think of that, Cam?
I'm a bit indifferent about it. It's a great idea. I get it, and I understand trying to make a buck out of photography. That's fine, and I think the technology around making an app like that is a clever idea as well. But at some stage, I think we need to have people just stop and think for a couple of minutes about what they're doing, about sharing locations and all that kind of like. Enough spots are done to death as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a popular photographer who's got an app that you can send out there and everyone starts then just following this app and going to all these spots that you've noticed and put down on a page, those spots are just going to get saturated, probably destroyed with traffic. It's going to take the mystique out of it, or the magic of that hunter trying to find a nice location for people. They're just going to go, oh, such and such said I go to Darwin, I shoot that spot at sunrise. Perfect, done. There's my shot. And the other thing about this app, from what I understand as well, is it's ever growing. So people are going to say, oh, I followed your thing to Darwin, but here's the shot I got just down the road from another spot. You should add that to your app. So it's just going to become this app of absolutely shots from everywhere.
Do we know how accurate it is? Like, okay, so for example, you're on like Touchy Wop, but you're facing, does it give you the exact coordinates, or is it
I,
more, this is a great area to go to?
from my understanding, it gives you the location.
Okay.
So it'll give you a pin. It's pretty much what it is. If you go on the Google Map, I go on the Google Maps, and wherever I go somewhere and I find a nice spot, I put a little pin
Drop a
and I
pin.
save
Yep.
it. So I know that's a good spot to go back to at certain things. It's pretty much a Google Map with everything pinned
Yep.
on that map, of the locations and where it is. No doubt there'll be an example of what sort of photo you can get there. Again, great idea, but is it? Are we sort of chopping our nose off to spite our face, where we're trying to make a quick buck on an app, but it's going to be detrimental down the track, that everyone's going to
Well,
start going to these places and
because you know how
flooding
much I
them.
love to cross over with different industries here. Fishing, all right? So
Not,
recreational fishing,
not golf.
not golf this time.
No.
Recreational fishing. You can, I believe, you can. So if you've got a fish finder,
Yep.
a GPS fish finder, I believe you can buy and sell marks. In other words, where you have caught fish before,
Yeah.
you can buy and sell, or you can give them away for free, and people can just download the marks and things like that.
Right.
So it's similar to that, isn't it? And then you go to an area, and what do you know? It's been fished out
That's right.
because.
Yeah. Well,
So is
this
that
is
what we're afraid of? That we're going to go to an area that's going to be photographed to death, that's going to be trampled, that's going to have, and it's a place where there's probably no facilities,
Yep.
so the joint just gets wrecked.
I think this is a little bit of a money grab to a point. This person's got an audience. They're very proficient on social media, and they're very proactive, and like I said, entrepreneurial. That's great. But I don't know. I just think I saw that pop up and I went, "Oh, come on, really? This is how we're going to make a bit of money out of stuff like that." We run workshops. I guess people could argue that's a similar thing, that we're taking people to certain spots, but we're not putting it out there for the masses. You know, there's some spots that we'll go to at locations that we really don't share out too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think yes, it's a great idea, but I just think maybe the thought about it maybe not as deep as it needed to be about
I
the
think
effects it
I
could
think
have.
I think you're spot on. I think what it's going to do is it's going to ruin the surprise of the
It does. It
location,
takes the magic out
and
of it.
it does. It'll take the magic out of it, and it will also probably inhibit your creativity
Yeah.
because you're going to see a landscape shot, right, that someone's done. Right. Now, you not only do you have to be in that location, you also have to be there on the exact same day of the year that they were there to get that light when the sun's at the same spot. You also have to have the
Yeah.
same weather conditions. You also have to have the same tide. You also have to have the same cloud. You also have to this. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think to a lesser degree, just using Google Photos, like you say, like
Yeah.
I do it all the time. If I'm going to a new location, which hasn't happened for ages, by the way, I need to, except when
Yeah.
I went with you to the Tarkine. That was
Yeah.
awesome. But we won't talk about Tasmania. Apparently, we talk about Tasmania too much.
Wow.
I Google. I will Google it, and you literally just bring the map up, and you zoom down on the map, and you
Yep.
look, and you go, okay, well, the sun's going to rise there, and it's going to set there, and there's a lagoon, or there's a tree, and there's a mountain, and there's whatever, So, but that gives you an overview of the area. I don't want someone to go stand right here at this time of day and you will get this photo. That's
right.
bullshit. That's being handed the answer to the test.
That's pretty much where the photography world goes these days, is that people with cameras who just want to get again, it comes back to that little bit of an ego stroke.
Yeah.
They want to get to a spot, they want to get the shot, they want to show their friends, and people go, oh wow, how amazing are you?
Yeah.
There's no magic or challenge in that.
Listen,
if someone just
you millennials out there,
that's it. Stop
don't
being
fall for it.
lazy.
I love millennials. I have children. They're millennials. I encourage them to go on their own journey in everything in life, and in photography in particular. I think particularly landscape photography. You want to go on your own journey. Why copycat someone else? That's fish in a barrel stuff. That's too easy. I understand maybe every now and then. And look, to be honest, if I was in, I don't know, maybe Sydney or somewhere that's established, and I needed to find a place, that app might interest me. But out in the bush, nah, forget that. I want to find that for myself, and it would literally kill the chase, kill the thrill of the
Wouldn't
chase.
Yeah. Speaking of millennials, I need to give a shout out to Chelsea, because apparently we
Chelsea.
don't do enough shout outs anymore.
We shout out to Chelsea every other episode.
That's right. And then she didn't reply. And she loves getting called a millennial. Oh, she loves it. Absolutely loves it.
Is she a millennial?
She sure is. Living and breathing.
It's born after 2000, isn't it?
Not millennial is. I think it's from.
I don't know. Who cares?
I actually, I'm almost a millennial. No, it says 81 to 96.
What?
Gen Z.
I always thought millennials were 2000, but anyway.
Your kids are Gen Z. My kids aren't even a Gen yet. They're not even on.
Your kids would be Gen Alpha.
Alpha.
It's called. I think that's what they're calling it. But anyway, whatever.
Anyway, back to this.
Digress.
The whole magic of it. I'm with you. I think photography has taken a detour to who can be lazier quicker, and I hate it. I think it's shit. Like, it's just, photography is about the moment and the adventure and the magic of it all. Yes. Not just, hey, go here at this time of day, put your camera that way, and you'll get a good shot.
Yep.
I don't know. I just find, like, even on our workshops, we just don't say to people.
Right, I was just about to say, there's people probably screaming at their cars saying, well, you run workshops and you put people in these spots at the right, but that's completely different.
That's right, because it's our living and our job. No, it's not, because what we do is we say, here's the 12 Apostles, this is going to be great, or here's Cradle Mountain, or here's the Tarkine. Get the hero shot, but then explore. Get out there and get your own compositions, have a look around. We don't just say, here's the shot, let's move to the next spot. So, well done to the person who did an app. That's great. I hope you make a truckload of money out of it and successful, but I would suggest that, maybe it won't be as memorable as you think it will be 5-10 years down the track, when you want to go back to these spots and there's people everywhere destroying them.
And it really does feel like you're doubling down if you get that app, because, as I say, it's on your phone. Like, bring a map up.
Yeah.
Bring a map up on your phone, go to Cam's website and go and rip off all these photos.
Do it. It's
Why
fine.
not?
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone else does.
they're easy to get to, right?
Yeah.
You
Most of
haven't
them
got any
are.
photos on there that took you 5 days to hike to over boulders in the stinking hot.
No, none at all. No. Yeah. Anyway, that was what I wanted. It's just a bit of a topic I saw, and I'm like, come on.
That's good.
It's almost like AI in a way. It's like it's the step before AI. It's because AI is lazy. This is a step before lazy where
It's
I don't
almost
want to.
like
Yeah.
what's going how long? Well, it's probably already happening. How long before we go on a completely AI generated holiday and photo shoot?
With just goggles on.
Yep. Fully immersive, and it even gives you the photos that are all completely AI. No, AI generated. You know, you've got, mate, this is going to happen. And if it isn't already, there's
What do
going to
we?
be someone in Tokyo who's going to lay back on a couch. They're going to be rendered basically unconscious and put these goggles on, and they're going to drive down the Great Ocean Road in a bus.
Are
For
they going to
tourists,
go
they're going to see
to?
koalas.
Are they
They're
going to
going
go
to
to
see
Mars as a spot?
not
As
only
a
are they going to see koalas, they're going to see the most
oh,
pristine, beautiful koala you've ever seen. Everything will be perfect. You know this, right?
apparently the koalas are like endangered now.
Yes, chlamydia.
Yeah, I saw something on like they're like 26
There's
years
there's
away.
a there's a word I bet no one thought would ever utter on this show.
Hey, oh, hang on, we've used smegma before.
True.
Smegma and chlamydia. Welcome to the whatever. No, that apparently they're 26 years away from extinction or something. The koalas.
Yeah. It's a real
That's,
worry.
it is.
Particularly since you just saw your first one in the wild, Cameron.
I know, and we ran over 3. That was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think we were going to bring that up. We did
Sorry.
not. That did not happen. That never happened.
Disclaimer. That did not happen.
Please, a possum maybe, but that was
Yeah.
on me. That's fine.
Actually, if we actually look back at our workshops, you are 2-0 with
I am
animals.
2-0. I know. I know.
And
They will run out in front of me though.
and now you're 2-1 with the golf. Is that right? Or 2-1 golf?
2.5 plays half.
2.5 plays half. So
Yeah, I'm not on 0 anymore. It's
right.
good. Now that's enough of that. Let's do a real quick gear talk
Speaking of car wrecks,
because I like this. I've decided I like this. It's given me a bit of
I knew you'd like this.
big announcement from Pentax this week. It's everything old is new again. Yes, it's Back to the Future. They have just released a film camera, a brand new film camera, the Pentax 17.
I figured
Give
out
it up
why
for
it's
Pentax.
I figured out why it's called 17 too.
Well, I would
That's
have thought that was a no-brainer as soon as you saw the number.
yeah, it is
Half frame camera.
no, that's as many as they're going to sell.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Half frame, which is interesting. So they're going back to the old Olympus pen trip 35 days. And
it doesn't look good though, Brendan. It doesn't look good.
Well, what did you want?
Oh, it's something with a lens that stuck out a bit more than the little
The dials look good on top.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I saw something the other day.
It's a wee bit ugly.
It is a wee bit ugly. I saw something the other day, someone going, oh, it's half frame, and they said it's great. Their promo is it's great for social media portrait. And someone goes, well, that's crap. Then how I can't do my landscapes anymore. And someone goes, just turn the camera the other way.
That's right.
You moron. No, that's Pentax's claim is that the half frame portrait is great for social media.
Interesting, considering it will take you a month to shoot the roll of film and then cost you $60 to have it processed.
Yeah.
But look, hats off to them. I think it's kind of cool. I was waiting for this to happen. I didn't think it'd be Pentax. But there you go. What would I know? I think it is really cool. The fact that it's $899 is interesting. You may laugh, but I think they're going to sell a lot of these. I really do. I think they're
Who are they going to sell them to, you reckon?
Millennials.
This is just a millennial bash show.
No, it's not. I love millennials. I don't want one, but I wouldn't mind having a play with one.
You're going to buy one. I can guarantee you are going to buy one.
I will not buy a Pentax 17. I've got too many Pentax K1000s to play with. And it's fixed lens and 1/350th of a second.
That's it.
Is its fastest shutter speed.
Yeah, that's it.
Come on, Pentax. Have a good hard look at yourselves. Go back and make the 18. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird, I don't know. It's, and obviously they've identified the fact that film is like ridiculously expensive. So let's give people
Mm,
double the shots on
that's
one
right.
roll of film.
True.
So that's what they're doing. They're trying to,
But take
promote it
twice
to
as long to use up your film.
take as long you can take 72 shots instead of 36 or whatever. So they're trying to get you hooked in on that. But then, it's a fixed lens, the maximum
Mm,
shutter speed. God forbid you're doing anything fast.
that's right.
It's a weird thing.
You don't want to take photos in summer on the beach.
No,
Everything's going to be overexposed.
you're ISO 25 film, you might be right, but
That's right. It's interesting. I haven't even look. I clearly haven't had one in my hand, but what I've seen, and I looked at Petapixel's review of it. It looked kind of cool.
yeah,
I think it's got a market, and I reckon, as I say, I think it'll be a fairly hot ticket come Christmas time.
I'm just looking at the specs of it. This is Pentax. Pentax are quirky. Give them that.
They've
Um,
become quirky. They used to be
they used to
hitting a
be,
bit. They were the one.
well,
Pentax through the 60s and 70s were amazing.
good friend of the show, Luke, who has a Pentax K, whatever they are, the digital ones.
Yep.
He stuck with Pentax, and the reason he stuck with Pentax is because they made a statement a few years ago that they said like only 5 years ago, DSLRs is the way of the future. We're not going to go mirrorless. And he goes, "That's great. I love the enthusiasm." But if you scroll down the specs here,
Yeah.
it gets down to like an overview of all the levers and dials and stuff like that. This is the quirkiness of it. I love this. It's got a picture. It's got like, little dials. Here's the film advanced lever. Here's the metering unit, film counter, blah, blah. Its title of that is called Name of Working Parts. So these are the parts that work.
Right.
Everything else don't touch. That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Interesting
Yeah.
little setup, that thing.
Wonder if they'll sell. You reckon they'll sell many? I don't know.
I do. I think it'll go quite well. I'm not saying it's going to go. Your little compact Fuji that you bought well,
Yeah.
but it'll go well.
I also saw some rumors that Canon have been looking at doing a little film one again as well.
A film camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I saw a few whispers online the other day about that. So maybe it's a resurgence. Maybe they're going to start, like Leica still do their film camera. They just they re-released their M6.
Yeah.
This is the Pentax. Maybe Canon and Nikon will bring one out. Who knows?
I'd be surprised if a few independents don't come out with them. If they haven't already, I mean, they probably have, but
I'd love to
some
see,
like backyard company that's refurbishing old bodies or something. That'd be cool.
I'd love to see just all the brands. I know it's never going to happen, but I'd love to see them all get together and say, right, we're going to bring out an AE1 retro.
Yeah.
We're going to bring out an OM1 retro. We're going to bring out a FM2 retro. Like, just bring out one line of film cameras.
If they re-release the OM, I would buy one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I tell you,
would I use it? Meh.
Probably not. To tell you the camera I do like, and I'm still considering maybe getting one, is the Nikon ZF.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think that looks as close to an FM that you're going to get in the Nikon range.
It's funny you should say that, because Mr. Crummins last week and I had a little bit of a segment on that on the episode last week about cameras with soul, and
should I have watched this episode?
You probably, it doesn't matter. You didn't have to. You could have doubled our viewership. There was we talked about what I thought was the last camera that had a soul.
Yeah.
And
I do remember skipping through that bit.
Yeah, and we put it down to the fact that the older cameras that felt like they had soul had way less technology in them. The cameras that have got loads of technology in them now feel more and more like electronic devices rather than cameras. Now, having said that, you're completely right. I had forgotten about the ZF.
Yeah.
What Nikon have done with the ZF, and to a lesser extent, Olympus, when they did the Pen F, they are freaking loaded with tech, but they've disguised it. Yeah. And they've hidden it in menus and dials that have got, like, one dial's got 4 different uses with you when you click function buttons and things like that. So they've stripped back the old buttons per square inch, which used to be all the rage. I was playing with that Nikon D750 I was telling you about today, and mate, it's got more buttons than I know what to do with. Literally, like it's and I like it. I think I've mentioned on the show, I like it because it's heavy.
Yeah, there's something about the weight of things in your hand.
100%.
And I even watched the Petapixels. Shout out to the Petapixel guys who should come on this show. Probably would never even know about us, but that's
Australia's
okay.
#1 for ranked photography podcast.
Yeah, we could take them on. What they did their review of that Pentax 17, and the host of the show, whose name I'm doing well, I can't remember his name now. He said, "Oh, you know," and I love it. In his he wound the film thing.
Yeah,
He goes, "I just love that. How good is that?" And we spoke about this on one of the earliest shows we ever did. Was it's all about that texture, that tactile movement of the shutter, and like I said, the weight in it. They just felt better build cameras of the old times. Like they were properly. And yes, there's new materials out, aluminium, magnesium, whatever it is, whatever it might be, that they make the cameras out. It makes them a bit lighter and a bit more robust. But nothing beats a good, solid camera in your hand.
yeah.
And I think that's something that maybe we're missing these days. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Nichols and Jordan Drake.
That's it. That's them, Chris. I knew it was something like that. Do you reckon they come on? Do you reckon they come on the show if we asked them?
Yes, I do. I actually genuinely do. I think we should get those guys, or ask them at least if they want to come on the show. Yeah, so interesting. Some new swag. Nikon Z6 Mark III. Interesting.
Yes,
Very,
yes.
very interesting. What we have here, in my humble opinion, is a very, very high-end video camera that takes stills.
Oh, not a fan.
Now, that's not a slight on
it's not.
Nikon.
Okay.
At all.
All right.
But it feels like it's being targeted at photographers when it's not. It's a video camera.
Yeah.
It is like the specs on this thing for video are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So hats off to Nikon for making a great video camera.
Yeah.
But one thing that's really getting stuck in my craw of late, Cameron.
Oh, your old age is kicking in.
Nikon Z6 Mark III is going to market in Australia for $4,699.
Awesome.
Australian.
That's a bargain.
For a 24 megapixel video camera that takes stills. It's look, I don't know, supply and demand.
Yeah.
It feels like we're sort of wagging the dog here insofar as there are less and less and less customers for Nikon, for Canon, for Sony, all camera manufacturers.
Yeah.
So therefore, supply dwindles, price must go up. For these companies to stay afloat. So
but that's also why they're crossing over into the video sphere as well, because they've got to try and capture more of those people. Yeah.
Go on Instagram now and try and find a photo. I bet you can't.
Go on Instagram and find a photo.
Find a photo. It's all reels. There's no stills. It's all
Right.
reels.
And it's all video. That's right.
It's all video. So
TikTok.
All of it.
Are you on TikTok?
No. Yes. I have a TikTok account, but I haven't used it for 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah. Or I don't have the app on my phone anymore.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Nikon Z6 Mark III, very, very interesting. And I don't know the Z6 series, the Mark I and the Mark II very well, but are they straying from that? I mean, I'm assuming they were, relatively high-end cameras, but is the Z6 really a video camera? Similar to what Sony do with their A7R cameras, which are more aimed at video. Yeah. So it's interesting.
The Z6 II still had the same megapixels.
Yep.
It had less frames per second.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be heavy on video.
Heavy on video. So it goes from 14 frames a second to 120 frames a second. The one thing I thought was really weird is that they promoted it as a partially stacked CMOS sensor.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting terminology. I don't know what a partially stacked CMOS sensor is, but it sort of sounds like it's half finished.
It's only partial. Why would we give you a fully stacked CMOS sensor when it's only partially?
We had to get it out before the end of the financial year. We didn't have enough time. This one's a partially stacked. I don't know.
That's right, exactly.
But I must admit, like that, going back to that, the Z series, that little ZF camera and those older cameras.
Yes.
They are cool.
They are very cool.
And I think we just need to accept that those days are over with those cool cameras. I was just looking on eBay at FM2s. I love the FM2.
Yeah, great camera.
And you can pick up a great FM2 for $500.
Yep.
With the lens, you can even get it with, $600 or whatever it might be. If you're starting out and you want to play around with a bit of film, that would be a better investment than the Pentax 17.
Probably.
I would think.
Oh, investment?
Yeah. Totally.
No, yeah. The Pentax 17 is going to be worth nothing in 2 years' time.
Yeah, like there's a Nikon FM2, practically brand new with a 35-70 mm lens, $600.
Yep,
You know,
with light leaks.
that's okay. That doesn't need seals. That's okay. So yeah, it's interesting.
It is very interesting. Moving right along, we've got no deer cam, so this is time where we need to plug things, and we need some deer cam questions. Come on,
Yeah,
you
come
know,
on. Or dear guys, it doesn't have to be just me, obviously.
nah, just do it, dear him. He can answer all the questions.
It's interesting. We've got no photography word of the week, no dear cam,
But the big
and
one,
the big
I
one.
know,
This
I
as
know.
far as I know, this is ridiculous. I don't think I've misread this.
Well,
Um,
our number one ticket holder is in Japan at the moment, I think. So,
no, he's not. They're old photos.
oh, I'm
He's
just
not
saying.
there.
I thought he's in Japan. I was living
No, no.
living vicariously through Mel as he traveled
How
Japan, but he's putting up old photos.
can I just say though, how cool are his street shots from
Very
Japan?
good, very
Good
good.
shot, good stuff, Mel. We should.
Yes.
I'd like to do a tour to Japan, and I reckon I will in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Mel should buy us a beer.
well, that's the thing. We have not had any beer donations.
Not
Now,
one beer donation in the
I
last
find
week.
I don't know if this is a
Is that is
coincidence.
that is that the Crummins effect?
That's what I'm thinking. Is this a coincidence that we
Do we
get
need to
Matt
change
Crum?
it to red wine donations?
Well, I don't know. We get Matt Crummins on for a week, and everyone stops buying us beer. I would say that the viewers have voted with their beer donations. If you're going to put that other show on your show, we're not going to give you beer.
Coming soon to theaters, the Crummins effect. It's got a good ring to it. I like it.
Yeah. How cool was his jacket? He looked pretty suave, didn't he?
That's what I said. He
Yeah.
sort of freshened the joint up a bit, Cam. Like
Is it?
we yeah.
Yeah. Like I went because I didn't know anything about it. Obviously, I was away, and
Yeah.
I didn't. I just saw it when it came out, like everyone else. And the first thing I went, I'm like, wow, his lighting's really good. His jacket's really
That's what I
fancy, and
mean.
he's
That's what I was saying. Like his background looked way
yeah,
better than
and
me just
he had a bottle of
floating
red.
in front of this thing.
He had a bottle of red and stuff like that,
Okay.
which makes that begs the question, which I'm sure you're begging to ask as well, is why is there so shit?
Well,
Like if the technology and the look is so good from one half,
you're not going to goad me into that. Stop it.
how is
What
that?
I,
How is their show so bad when Matt is so good? I don't get
what
it.
I what I will say is that he did give me one thing we did do before we went on air was he quickly spun his camera around so I could see his studio because I said, "Oh, your
Oh, yeah.
background looks awesome." And he goes, "Oh, this is all real." I said, "Well, yes, show me
Yeah.
more." So he spun his camera around and he showed me that awesome studio he's
Yeah,
got.
he's got a great studio. Yeah.
And as I record this, I'm sitting in my shed,
Hmm.
and it is undergoing a wee little makeover, Cameron.
Oh, it's a man shed.
It's no, it's going to become it'll become my studio. So,
Yeah.
for the next couple of months, it's going to be a crash pad for my 18-year-old's
Ah,
getting through VCE sort of thing.
right.
Well, she's not 18 yet, but she's going to have her 18th, and she wanted a hangout room, so that's going to become my office. Is going to be a hangout room.
When's the 18th?
That's private information that I won't disclose to our podcast listeners.
Clearly, I'm not invited. Hey, this is what my office looks like.
It looks good, mate.
Have a look
I
at
like it.
We've got shit everywhere.
Now leave that on there because you are packed for a walk. Now, is your
Yes.
gear in the background there somewhere?
That's on that couch over here somewhere. That
Right.
wrong way.
Yep.
Hang on.
Yep. There you go. So you've
Put it in
got your boots out and your backpack and stuff. Cameron, where are you planning to go tomorrow?
I don't know if I'm going.
Which is tomorrow, which is today as this goes to air.
Yeah. So I'm just looking in the background to make sure I've got nothing inappropriate that's going to get picked up.
Oh dear.
There's nothing there.
Mm.
I am planning on doing a hike into Frenchman's Cap for the next maybe 3-4 days. But I woke up today feeling a bit under the weather, and I'm not thinking, well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But I think I'm just going to bite the bullet. There's 2 huts. They're both heated, so I can walk into one hut and assess it. Just go. So I'll be leaving tomorrow. I'll go, all things going to plan.
Well, if you don't come back, we've got the perfect stand-in.
That's it. You just get Matt to come back, and you'll never drink beer again.
The show will live on, mate.
It'll move on. Would you do like a tribute show or something like that to me, or?
God, why are we going down this path?
Well, you did say don't do a certain thing.
We might have a week off in memorial and then move on.
I would have thought an hour off. So yeah, I'm hoping to do Frenchman's Cap. And
for those of listeners who don't know where that is and don't have an app where they can pinpoint the best places to take photos of Frenchman's Cap, where is Frenchman's Cap, Cameron?
Unfortunately, it's in Tasmania.
Unfortunately,
so it's in I guess you could call it the southwest of Tassie. It's actually the Franklin River winds around Frenchman's Cap. So
very good.
If you drive from Hobart to Queenstown, you'll go past Lake St Clair. You keep going a bit further. And then at some stage on the left-hand side, you'll see a Frenchman's cap sign. It looks like the old Frenchman's Legionnaire cap,
Yes.
soldier's cap, which they saw from the coastline. So you can walk up to the top of this mountain. It's a pretty big climb at the top and sheer 300-meter drop off one edge. I actually don't plan to go up the top of it. I've been up the top a couple of times before. I actually want to spend a bit of time in the forests and the little foothills and do some shots along there. So that's the plan.
Cool.
I'm all packed up. I'm ready to go. Hopefully I'll wake up in the morning feeling better than I did today.
But your dehydrated meals ready?
No, I'm not. I'm going to take like 2-minute noodles and a few other little things.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm drinking my water. I'm on my 5th cup of water, trying to hydrate. Yeah.
Attaboy. See, you'll be fine. Well, that sounds exciting.
What are you doing?
What you're doing sounds way more exciting than what I'm doing.
Are you sitting at the back of your shop stretching canvases?
I am going to, I don't know if it's going to happen this week. It might be next week, but I am going to go beyond the Great Ocean Road.
Is there such a place?
I'm going to head to a little place just past Port Campbell called Peterborough.
Oh, yes.
Very beautiful coastline there, and nowhere near as dramatic as around the 12 Apostles, big sheer cliffs and things like that. Right. It's a lot more low lying, but you can get some really cool compositions amongst the rocks and things there. So that's on the radar. Don't know if it'll happen this week, might be the week after, but you can be rest assured that it will be my backdrop at some point.
Would that be to coincide with our Great Ocean Road workshop that's coming up in February next year that you're scouting?
There might be a little bit more scouting, although we are spoiled for choice on that thing, but it's always good to have spots up your sleeve at different times of the year. So there is one particular spot that I'm very, very keen to check out, which I have been to before, but they all, along that stretch of coastline, they all sort of blur into one. And I just want to go back and go, no, that's right. I know what I'm talking about. So,
you know what you and I need to do?
Run workshops. We do that.
No, bugger them. What we need to do, you and I just need to go on a week road trip somewhere.
That's a good idea.
No, not a workshop. Just you and I, just hit the road, have a few beers, take some photos.
Where are we going?
I know. You tell me.
South coast of New South Wales.
Okay.
Done. All right. Cool.
We'll now, if we just find a week. Now, quickly, we
just need to find a week where we're both available.
That's right. So I'll see you in 2045. So we have the Great Ocean Road Workshop in late February next year. We have then the Bay of Fires, the Frasernae East Coast of Tassie tour.
Now, we have not really plugged that one on it at all.
Well, if people listen this far, they might get a scoop here.
That's right.
So that's in mid-May 2025. That's going to be from the Bay of Fires all down that incredible East Coast of Tassie.
Yep.
Then we have August next year. We're doing our very popular Tarkine to Cradle Mountain workshop.
Yes.
But we've also got the Murray Mallee as well.
Yes, which is in March, end of March, 2025. Late March.
That's right. So we've got Murray Mallee, Great Ocean Road, Bay of Fires, Tarkine, Cradle next year.
We do. All linked in description. Jump on, have a look, and we probably should put up some testimonials. We got some beautiful feedback from the Great Ocean Road.
We did. Maybe.
So
all right, I might actually do a bit of work in the next early next week and put up some of that stuff.
Go walk up a mountain instead.
Oh, that's not very nice.
That's what you're going to be doing. That's it. That's the podcast. This has been episode 120. What was it? 125. Thank you. Nothing more to add, Mr. Blake?
Nothing anymore. You've finished off perfectly there.
Just absolutely. How was my dismount? It was shocking.
Let
me do that again.
Yeah, try again.
This has been episode 125 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you for episode 126 sometime in the near future. Bye for now.
See you next week.